Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of the Pound for Pound show. I am Philip. Joining me today is Ben, who can count to 6 on his hands. Good job. And Joe and Russ. So, thank you, gentlemen, for joining me on this snowy night. Wish it was a little bit warmer, but what are you going to do? It's that time of year. So, got some fights to recap from this last weekend, and then we'll talk about the upcoming fights like we always do. So, let's get into it. So, I would be remiss if the first thing we didn't talk about was the buzz in the fight world is Mike Tyson and Roy Jones turning back the clock like it was 1995. Did you guys watch it? How did you guys enjoy it? What did you guys think of the decision? Lay it on me. What do you think? We'll go to Russ first today. So
I watched it. I was super hyped about it. That was the most exciting fight of the weekend for sure. The undercard was pretty entertaining as well. I thought the fight was pretty good. I went into it with very low expectations. It's just expecting like sort of a train wreck. They're both in their 50s and haven't fought for a while. Roy Jones looked terribly out of shape, but I thought the fight was pretty fun. Honestly, like it exceeded my expectations, and I thought Tyson was pretty nice to him, to be honest. Like he could have knocked him out if he wanted to, but he threw a bunch of body shots. Like after round 4, it was nothing but body shots. Could have finished him anytime he wanted to, but I think they had some sort of gentleman's agreement where, if they weren't going to wear the headgear like they originally wanted him to, then he wasn't going to completely mess him up. But I thought Tyson looked good. Roy Jones, not so much. But it was fun. What'd you guys think?
It was fun for nostalgia-wise. Good to see the legends back in there. I mean, like you said, I think Tyson could have probably killed him, but just for exhibition. So, I mean, obviously they weren't going to do a whole lot, but it was fun to see Tyson back in there and back boxing again. But, I mean, of course it's going to go to a draw because it wasn't really for anything. So that was the only lame part. But I think Nate Robinson getting knocked out was probably the best thing in that whole card.
What did Nate Robinson do to you?
I don't understand why people were getting mad about the draw, to be honest, because it was like an exhibition. It was for nothing. You know what I mean? And like,
yeah, doesn't matter.
Who cares? Like,
wasn't it going to be a draw?
Like,
yeah. I mean,
for the most part, you couldn't even bet on that fight. Like any like real sports book wouldn't even take a bet on it because it was an exhibition. So like, who cares? And like.
Yeah, it was.
And to answer your question, it was really strange because it was, since it was an quote unquote exhibition that I was reading, that's why they couldn't read the decision like in the ring, because by having them go up on the ramp, it was like out of the ring. So it was like unsane. You guys do whatever you want. As long as it's not in a California sanctioned ring, you guys can go and fight them to the death on the ramp. We don't care, whatever you're going to do. So that's why they kind of had that like interesting setup as far as like to kind of loophole their way around the exhibition rules. I just found it to be interesting because, I listened to a lot of it. It seemed like right after the fight, and I don't know if people were just hyped up for his return or what, but people were outraged that they thought Tyson like clearly won and this, that, and the other. But then I kind of heard some other like interesting takes. I think it was Chael was saying he thought Roy Jones like easily won the fight and like outboxed him all night.
Yeah.
I was like, so just a lot of interesting takes out there. It was, if nothing else, this fight got people talking.
That's a perfect take from Chael. Somebody with brain damage is going to say Roy Jones won that fight when like he did nothing other than, take a bunch of shots.
Chael will say anything just to get clicks. It's ridiculous.
He was outlanded like 2-1. I mean, even at the end when they asked him about the rematch, he had no interest. And Mike was like, "Yeah, let's do another one." Like Mike's gonna try to get another fight in there because I heard he got paid big time for that. So
right,
yeah, I thought Mike won. I thought he clearly won. He pieced him up pretty much the whole fight. And that one judge had it. He had what? He had how many rounds for Jones Jr.? The one judge.
I didn't see individual scores. All I seen them at the end. All they said was it's a draw. Like I didn't hear individual scores at all.
Yeah, that is wild. I think it was going to be a draw no matter what.
Yeah, I think they planned on it being a draw. I don't think.
Yeah, again, it doesn't matter.
No meaning.
Right.
It was just literally for money and just for like the spectacle or whatever. There was no competition in there or no, they're 50. I mean,
I heard that Tyson got paid $10 million, like flat right away, and he gets a big cut of the pay-per-view buys, which I think is going to be pretty large because it seemed like a lot of people were into it.
Yeah,
so he's going to make a lot of money.
I was going to say it did seem like it was generating a lot of interest. I'll be curious to see how the pay-per-view buys go. Like
he's going to try to get like Holyfield in there next, do like another like Legends fight. He's going to try to keep it going. Probably get Roy Jones in there against Anderson. They're going to, I think, due to this success, we're going to see more.
Maybe Vitor joins that.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a bigger success than I thought, and I think a lot of people didn't think it was going to go off like that well. Like the production was good, and it just like it wasn't as much of a train wreck as you thought it would be. It just was kind of like the fights, like the knockout was big by what's that? Jake Paul. Yeah, like that knockout was had people buzzing, and then Badu Jack looked amazing, but they put him in there against like, you know, somebody that should be fighting at like the Yak Arena. Like it was kind of silly, but he did look. So it was fun. I thought it was a fun card.
Yeah,
much more fun than the train wreck the UFC put on Saturday.
I was gonna say it was good. It was no Chuck Tito 3. Maybe they can co-promote. They'll have the rematch of Chuck Tito 4 and Tyson Jones 2 on the same card.
Hey, there you go. That's where that belongs. Like, put it on there.
You guys want to break some pay-per-view records? Let's make that happen.
Yeah, I think we're going to see more of it.
Oh, good stuff. Well, we'll go ahead and transition into the card. Obviously, the UFC card this weekend. The main event was scrapped, so they had to bump up the. Apparently, no main event is going to survive these days. You never really know what fights you're going to get. I think they just cross their fingers, and whoever shows up healthy, they make matches on the spot, and that's what you get these days. So we've definitely seen some interesting cards and some fights you probably wouldn't see. So, but the main event, Anthony Smith getting back on track after a couple of tough losses, went out there and looked impressive. So what'd you guys think? How'd you guys see that? And what'd you guys overall think, and kind of what's next for Anthony Smith? So Joe, we'll start with you this time.
I mean, Anthony Smith looked really good. I'm not really familiar with the guy he fought, so I don't remember any of his fights before, but I know. I mean, Anthony Smith's been looking pretty decent, so that was definitely a good performance.
Ben?
I thought Anthony Smith was going to lose based on his previous performances, his 2 or 3 previous performances. He hasn't looked good. He looks like he's been his head's just not in the game, and he looked good. He looked back to his normal self. I don't know if this tells us if he's elite or not, but he can definitely beat the guys out of the top 10. He can definitely beat those guys, but give him a top 10 guy. I don't know how he fares, but he looked good. Russ?
Yeah, I was not so impressed. Like, I still think Anthony Smith is on the decline. He looked softer than he does usually. Like, you know, his body looked a little bit softer, and I mean, who gets beat by a triangle in the main event of a UFC nowadays? Like, it just doesn't happen very much. Like, Devin Clark looked like he had no interest in even trying to escape it. Like, what was he doing? Like, he tried a couple hammer fists, but it was just awful. Like, I mean, day one stuff. You get out of that triangle.
Didn't Gaethje just lose to a triangle?
To Habib. Okay. It's a little bit different. But
Yeah, it is.
This is Anthony Smith we're talking about. So
if you would have told me, like, you know, I'll bet you $100 like against your house that Anthony Smith wins that by submission, by triangle nonetheless, I would have said, yeah, let's book that bet. Like, any scenario but that happening is what I thought would happen. That was unbelievable. I thought if Anthony Smith won, he's going to strike him, you know, for multiple rounds, just, you know, but a triangle in the first round. Get out of here.
So, fights coming up weekend. Got an interesting main event. I'll get your guys' thoughts on it because I was surprised. Joker Jack is the underdog in this fight against Hermansson-Vettori, I believe is how it's pronounced. I don't want to mispronounce that, but I was definitely surprised that Jack was the dog. So, Ben, I'll let you start this time. Give me your thoughts and how you see this fight playing out.
I got Jack winning. He's gotten an incredible ground game. So, I just don't think Vettori's on the same level. So he hasn't faced as stiff as competition as Jack. And I got Jack I'm going to say Jack by submission. Incredible ground game. So Russ or Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I like Jack in that fight, even though Vettori's got a lot of hype behind him. Like, he seems to be doing very well besides his loss to Adesanya. So we'll see, but I've seen more of Jack, so I'm just more familiar with what he can do. I think he is better on the ground. hopefully get a sub by him.
Yeah, I mean, basically what they said. I mean, I'm not familiar with this Vettori guy at all. Like, I haven't done any research on him, but I've seen Joker Jack fight multiple times, and he usually looks pretty good. So I'll go with him.
I'm just a big Jack Hermansson fan. I think he is really good. I think he'll be a contender at middleweight. I think he's going to beat a lot of guys. So I'm on board with this guy. So I think we are in unanimous agreement. I won't be surprised to see this pop up in Russ's best bets since he is an underdog. So, which speaking of, it is time, Russ. How can the people make some money this weekend?
Oh, let's see how we can get this back. Let's get this back on track after a bad weekend.
Yeah.
It's okay, though. It's okay.
Yeah. The people that have been taking your advice are probably about out of money, so.
Yeah.
No, because we've taken a lot of underdogs, so you're not losing a lot on, like, money lines and stuff. Like, we're all right. You just bet against the Lions every week, and you can, balance it out very easily.
That is the way to do it.
Yeah, that's how I killed on Thanksgiving, betting against the Lions and the Cowboys. So I had money to play with on those garbage bets on Saturday. But so 0-2 last week. I had 3 picks, but one was canceled to COVID. Like everything is getting canceled. We're the only show not canceled due to COVID. So maybe subscribe.
Yeah, exactly.
We're the only thing still going. But 0-2 lost the what did I lose? Parisian against Parker Porter. Was a bad bet. Parisian looked terribly out of shape, just garbage. Like nothing too impressive about him, but he's just in a little better shape than I guess Parisian. Devin Clark tapped to a triangle, so I'm a little bitter at him for that crap performance. And then to throw a little on top on Saturday, I threw a little bit down on Nate Robinson and watched him flatlined in the second round.
That was the best weekend.
Well, I thought a professional basketball player just being an athlete would do better against it like a YouTube star, but no, the basketball.
You ever seen basketball players getting fights though, like on the court? It's pretty embarrassing. So.
Yeah, basketball players are super soft. It's not a game in there. And Jake Paul actually, like his footwork and stuff, he looked like he had trained quite a bit, like much more than Nate Robinson with his just bum rushing him and getting flatlined. It was enjoyable. Like I actually rarely enjoy losing money, but that was fun because the way he went out on his face. Okay, so this week I'm going with in the main event Hermansson plus 115. I'm surprised he's the underdog because he was the favorite against Holland. I don't remember what he was against Till, but props to him even for taking a third opponent after the other ones got canceled.
Yeah, he's a boss.
And then I like Talia Santos minus 200. She's 16-1, and she killed Molly McCann her last fight, just dominated her. So I like her minus 200. And then Hill against OSP. Hill is 7-0. He's minus 160. He's a little bit of a favorite, but I don't trust OSP to ever win a fight. So that's good reason why he probably will this weekend. That dude's very similar to Derek Lewis for me. I can't predict what he's gonna do.
Very inconsistent.
When I'm on him, yeah. So that's the 3 for this week. Let's get a 3-0 week hopefully and tear into next week.
I hope so.
Yep.
I hope so, man.
Have you been keeping your stats, your record?
No.
Overall?
Mm-mm.
Oh, would you be if you were winning?
Probably not. I mean, no, because I do the 3 on here, but then I do 30 more off here. You know what I mean? I have action on everything. I'm gonna take Hermansson by sub. I'm gonna have probably out of 12 fights, I'll probably bet 10 of them. I always do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't ever track that crap.
Ben, can you go back and get us a running tally on what this on what Russ's lifetime record on the show is?
Yeah,
for sure I will.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah.
Hey, you win some, you lose some. He'll catch back up here.
The thing, if we're gonna track it, to be honest though, we would have to we wouldn't just track wins and losses. We'd track if I hit a plus 150 underdog or a minus 200. You know what I mean? You track units won or lost.
Yeah, you mean money?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you track
technically,
money.
yeah.
Yes.
if you want to be technical about it. But either
well,
way.
yeah. So for anyone who's not familiar with betting, because yes, if you're always taking underdogs, you're never going to win the majority of your bets, and to expect to do so is unrealistic. That's why they are underdogs. They are expected to lose.
Right.
So, but the payoffs are much better when you win on underdogs. You bet a little to win a lot.
Yeah, like if I want to pad my record and have like a 30-3 record, I'll start taking -600, -700 favorites every week. Like here's the 3.
There
Boom.
you go. Be like, my picks this week, I'm going to take Valentina.
Yeah, lock it up. You'll win like $10 betting like 500, but you'll win.
Right.
And if you lose, you're broke.
Exactly.
This is true. This is true. So cool. Well, we'll move into some of the hot topics in the MMA world. Not a whole lot of them to go on this week. Really just 2 literally hot off the presses just announced today. It wasn't even on our format. We had to add it late. It looks like the Leon Edwards Chimaev fight is off now. It's been weird because it's rumored for like the past week that the fight might be off because Hamzat might have COVID, but it was never confirmed. And then it came out today that the fight's canceled and Edwards tested positive. So apparently just everyone has it. Everyone's going to be sick. So there may be no fights. But
we've seen a lot of fights canceled recently. And
it's hitting pretty hard right now. And it sucks that it's main events that's hitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't it be like,
I mean, it would suck
undercard?
either way, but
Yeah.
I read something today that I think they're working on like some sort of like bubble for the UFC, like some sort of like hotel situation at the Apex in Vegas, so like they can stop this insanity because like it's getting out of control now.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Yeah, I don't know how much truth there is to that, but that's the way to go. Like the NBA did it, and like 0 positive tests. They ran the whole, postseason like perfectly. You know what I mean? These other sports that are trying to play with people just like going home and going other places, it's just falling apart.
It is.
The NFL is a straight up dumpster fire. It is
even more than the NFL, man. College football.
Oh yeah.
Like there's teams that like won't even get a chance to like play in a bowl game because they'll have like played like 4 games at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's unbelievable.
Yeah, that is very true. I think it seems like college is a little quicker to pull the plug though. Like the NFL presses forward, like they're like,
they haven't had one cancellation yet, just like postponements. It's amazing. Yeah. Like they refuse to cancel one.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, like I said, with that game tomorrow being till Wednesday afternoon. I think at last count, I think the 2 teams had like 18 players on like the COVID reserve list and counting.
Yeah.
This last Sunday, we had a team go out with no quarterback. Like all 3 of their quarterbacks were on the list. So they had to put a reserve wide receiver who played quarterback in college. They had to put him in, and you saw how that went. So, I mean, that game was going to go that way either way. So it didn't matter. But yeah,
it's crazy that can happen in the NFL. That can happen. That a receiver can start at quarterback in the NFL. It's insane.
I mean, he went 1 for 9 with 2 interceptions. Like one of us could have probably gone 1 for 9 with 2 interceptions.
Yeah, that's mind blowing that you can play a whole game and that's your stats. Like, how do you not drop like a screen or something to get a couple completions?
I think you'd be able to game plan way that for that guy to play quarterback. Like,
yeah, you would think
nonstop jet sweeps or something.
Yeah, you would come up with something. But I mean, it's tough. In fairness, like it did happen like 24 hours before the game. It wasn't like they had like a full week of practice. It was, I think, Friday evening they got that news. So
yeah,
they really didn't have much. It was kind of like park football. It's like just roll out the balls and play. Let's just call some plays and see what happens. So
crazy.
I guess the only thing I can say is that that Denver's not going to the playoffs anyway, and it doesn't really matter. So
right. Yeah, I wish I would have been on the Saints like opening line. I think it was like -6, and then it went to like minus 15 or something. Yeah, I think after the news,
something crazy like
something
that.
crazy.
So, the only other crazy thing I have to mention about the NFL, and then we'll get back to talking about that, is there is a team that leads their division that is 4-7. So I'm gonna say,
don't talk about that division. Jesus.
But anywho,
if they didn't play each other, they'd have like 1 win. Like, I mean,
that's
the only way they get wins.
That's true. That is very true. So, but yeah, huge bummer that the Edwards Chimaev fight is off. They're looking to reschedule it. I haven't heard anything about them getting a new opponent for Chimaev. That would be cool. Hopefully they can do that, stick him on the card. and we get to see him fight again this year. And then hopefully we get to see Leon fight maybe ever. It seems
Oh,
like
they said they're booking it for January or February.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they said. Rebooking.
Okay, yeah, I'm good with it. So like I said, I'd like to see Leon fight, and that fight was exciting to me, so I don't want to miss out on that. So
And hopefully Leon's all right, because last I heard he had a severe case of COVID. Like the other ones have just been like he got COVID, tested positive, but apparently he's got a legit case. So
Yeah, he lost like 10 pounds.
Jesus.
That's what they said. That's crazy.
yeah, you hope everybody's okay. And it, like we know so little. It sounds like a lot of people who like even that recover have like long-term health issues. Like it causes like lung damage and stuff like that. So yeah, you hope all these guys are okay long-term. So that sucks. So hope Leon's okay. Hope we get to see him fight soon. Cool. And then the other thing, Ben, you wanted to touch quickly on Clarissa Shields, the super ultra mega successful female boxer. It looks like she signed with the PFL.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, that's a pretty big pickup. We'll see how she does in MMA. I don't know much about her. I know she's a crazy good boxer. So we'll see how she transitions.
It is crazy when someone is like that accomplished in one sport and transitions. But again, we don't know how much he's trained unless you guys have some inside scoop that I don't have. But
we'll see.
All I could say is that she's pretty young, so she's not like transitioning over like James Toney, like a
Oh my God,
very old age where like there was zero chance of success. Like she could maybe get coached up and develop into something.
Why you got to bring James Toney into this?
Just as a boxer that transitioned over like a successful boxer.
Well, that's actually a perfect transition, James Toney. I bet you didn't know this was going to be a perfect transition, but we're kind of into like our random topics, portion of this show. And I was going to bring it up earlier when you were talking about a couple of the fights you were talking about for the best bets. What is up with fighters, and really in all sports, but especially fighters, coming in out of shape? Like, you are professional athletes. How can you be out of shape?
Well, I have a theory right now is because they're not training as hard because of COVID restrictions. So that makes sense for now. That's why we're seeing more and more.
I don't understand how it would affect your conditioning that much, though. You can do that outside, like very easily.
I think some fighters are using it as an excuse, kind of just to come in, just for a paycheck, and
Yeah, I'm getting a little tired of these boxing style UFC cards, to be honest.
I know.
The main event and then like 10 fights of dudes that like maybe I've seen one fight, and a lot of them I haven't even heard of, and I consider myself a hardcore fan, and like it's like you look down the list, you're just like, who are these people? Like I don't even know, I don't recognize the names.
Right.
I appreciate the card a week, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, like it's fun having fights every weekend, but it just seems strange that there's so many people every weekend that we've never heard of.
Very thin cards. Very thin.
Yeah.
Right. I can even appreciate that. Like, I understand the cards are thin, and I understand that, they're going to, especially when you're cranking out that many. It's just always baffled me in sports. Like you said, like there's millions of people who work a full-time job and manage to stay in shape. Like their full-time job is to be in shape, and they somehow manage to not do it.
That's crazy.
It's
crazy.
Unbelievable to me. Like I can't even admit, like when I watch fights, when I see people who are out of shape, like I want them to lose automatically.
I know.
It just gets on my nerves. Like it's
they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be.
Yeah, it's there is
get it together.
No excuse. Right, exactly. How about you hit the treadmill once in a while?
Exactly.
Get to the park and go for a run. You'll be all right. Make it happen. Anything else you guys want to cover? Anything new? I know, Ben, you've been into all sorts of stuff lately. You want to enlighten the people into some things they need to get into these days?
Oh yeah, I've been watching a ton of movies and stuff. I want to recommend a couple. I'll put a list on the screen, and then I'm gonna recommend a few though. I'm gonna say Fat Man with Mel Gibson. He's Santa Claus, and it's like a real world take on Santa Claus. It's awesome. Check it out. Fat Man.
It is awesome. I watched
Anything
it this
with
week.
Mel Gibson is worth
great.
watching these days.
Oh
it's so good. It's better than I expected. It's really good.
And then also a movie I loved. It's from 2008. It's called Doubt with Meryl Streep and Philip Seymour Hoffman. That is excellent. So I've watched that. I watched that too, and then a bunch of other stuff. But those two stick out. Yeah, some good stuff.
If you're having trouble sleeping, watch Doubt. It's a good
Have you seen it?
No, I'm not watching some garbage movie about the Catholic Church
Wow. Wow.
Interesting.
with Meryl Streep. I'm not 60 years old. I'm just not going to watch it.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
You're getting close, though. You're getting close.
It's not going to. I am getting close. Maybe in 20 years I'll give it a shot. Probably not though.
What about you, Joe? What are you getting into these days? Any strange Santa or Catholic Church movies on your playlist these days?
I did watch Fat Man. I watched it as well. It is good for sure. And then I've just been jamming the new Hatebreed album, which is fantastic. So it's the only things I'm really getting into right now.
What about you, Russ?
Oh yeah, I liked Fat Man a lot. I watched a movie called Toys of Terror. Really good. You know, similar like a Puppet Master vibe. The toys come alive, wreak some havoc. It's very good, very entertaining.
Nice.
Yeah. And then of course, jamming Hatebreed nonstop.
That is
Every workout fueled by Hatebreed.
Yeah, that's a year-saving album. It's so good.
Yeah. I like to run honestly to AC/DC more because it keeps me more like at a normal pace. Like if I try to run to Hatebreed, I'm did 2 blocks. I'm like, I shouldn't have ran like that.
You do look down and you realize your pace is unreal.
Yeah, I like that more for weight training and AC/DC and Clutch is better running music.
Mm-hmm.
I love the difference in the movie recommendations. You got Meryl Streep in Doubt, and then Toys of Terror, puppets.
Hey, shows the different styles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, both great.
Yeah.
Little something for everybody on this show. So we don't want to leave anybody out. So cool. Anything else you boys wanted to cover before we wrap up today?
I like that Kevin Holland's fighting Jacare. They moved him over to that card only I think a week or two away.
Oh, that is a good
pretty
fight.
cool.
Yeah. That is a good fight.
It's a good little replacement for him since he doesn't get to do the main event. He gets a big name against Jacare.
Mm-hmm.
But that's about it.
Oh, and also, how you guys doing on your Christmas shopping?
Not well.
That's the silence tells me not well, but
not well.
I'm almost done. So.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty much done.
Yeah.
I managed to work it into my packed schedule, do a little Christmas shopping in here and there,
Exactly.
in between workouts and PlayStation sessions. I managed to find a little time to do some Christmas
I
shopping.
hate you.
Same. It's tough, but
Yeah.
it's the life.
It's tough because I only shop for a handful of people, and in the state of the world, I'm not sure I'm ever going to see any of them again in person. So I don't
just
know.
Mail them. Just mail me my gift, Phil. Mail me my gift.
I could do that, I suppose. I could do that.
I'm gonna wear that sweater you got me last year, that Die Hard ugly Christmas sweater. So
that sweater was tremendous. So.
That is a dope sweater. I love that.
That was one of those gifts I liked so much. I considered just keeping it and getting you an alternative gift.
Yeah, that would have been a prick move, but yeah.
Yeah, well, you would have never known, so it wasn't a prick.
That's
move,
true.
so.
That's true.
You would have just complimented my great sweater, and then wished I would have bought it for you for Christmas. So
I would have said, "Will you take my gift and give me that sweater?"
It'd be a weird thing if you just offered.
Yeah.
Hey, your gift is all right, and I appreciate it, but I'd like another gift better. Will you take this back and give me something?
Be a rude thing to do, yeah.
It'd be pretty funny. So, anything else you boys want to cover before we wrap up this evening?
No, that's it for me. I mean, good.
Excited for that AEW show tomorrow night.
Yeah, I've been struggling with wrestling. They've been making so many decisions. For those of you who don't, most of us are huge wrestling fans, and the shows have been making me angry to a level I can hardly watch them lately. Tomorrow night, if it doesn't go my way, I don't know if I can handle it. I might boycott all wrestling until Wrestle Kingdom.
It's gonna go well.
It has to.
It's gonna go well.
Has to.
If I could put a best bet on that, I would.
There's always good bets. So.
Okay, best bet on Kenny Omega tomorrow night. He's winning.
There you go. I love it.
Best bet on a wrestling show. Ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, if you can bet on Tyson Jones,
that's true.
Yeah, that's true.
That was just as scripted, maybe more.
That is true. Very true.
Yeah. Wear bigger gloves, only hit the body. It was fun to see the legends at work, but I mean, anybody that thinks that was a real fight
is a
doesn't watch
stooge.
real fights.
Yeah.
I support a full-blown Legends League. I'm in for MMA.
Oh, you're gonna get it. Yeah, it's happening.
For MMA and boxing, I supported 100%.
Yeah. They might start mixing them. You know how they used to do those cards with like some boxing and some like MMA. They
Like
might
a
do it
K1
like on
Dynamite
that.
show.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great.
I think you're going to get something like that once they see that buy rate come in and be like, oh, there's money in this. Let's get some of these, get some of these dudes off the couch and in the ring.
Just a circus.
I think that I was literally going to say they should take a cue from K1 Dynamite. Let's get like a couple Legends boxing matches, a couple Legends MMA fights, a couple freak show fights, because who doesn't love a good freak show fight?
Oh, speaking of, did you guys see any clips from that fight circus over the weekend?
The Russian thing?
Oh my God, yeah.
Pound dude.
Oh yeah.
How can this just be making it on the show? Like, why was this not like a lead topic? I'm not familiar with this.
A 550-pound dude against a 130-pound woman.
Why is this just being brought up?
And she TKO'd him. She TKO'd him.
Ben, edit the show and get this on right at the top.
It's going right on here. Look at this.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, put it on. That dude like rolling into the ring. Unreal.
He does the Connor strut too on the walk down.
I love it. Oh my God, that's like I need to see this.
This guy is.
That was.
Yeah, this guy is chiseled. Wait till you see this guy, Phil.
Oh my God.
Speaking of fighters out of shape, this guy is not one of them.
If you're comically out of shape, or if you're like King Kong Bundy, like that's different.
Oh, this dude's like way bigger than King Kong Bundy. Yeah, he's like one of those dudes off like one of those TLC shows, like My 8-Pound Life. Like that's what he looks like. Like I don't know how he even got.
He's a big boy.
Yep.
And yeah, get him in get the rematch on the first Legends card. That fight part 2, some Legends fights. I am in.
Yeah, I'll pay to watch more of those cards, but I just don't want to see that like the rapping segments in between. That was like way too much.
Oh yeah, weren't they like 20 minutes each?
Yes, and they like were bad.
Yeah,
they were just bad. I didn't even know any of them besides like Snoop, but
yeah, less of that for sure. Like, you know, instead of that, freak show fight. You could like that's how you break up the monotony. You got to get Legends, freak show. There it is.
Oh, for sure.
Agreed.
For sure. Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll end on that, Hoffa.
I'll say we can't top that. Like,
that's a strong ending. Once you put that fight clipped in there too, boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. So with that being said, everyone, go out and watch. That's your homework assignment. By next episode, watch that. It'll be great. Obviously, we will see you guys.
Wait,
next
you were breaking
week.
up. I'm sorry, Phil. What was it? What'd you say? Go out and what?
Oh, when they had a homework assignment to go and watch that fight.
Oh yeah, that one.
Week.
Yeah.
That's what I want everybody to do. And then I just said, you know, we'll got some fights upcoming this week, and we will see everybody next week to recap the fights and talk about hopefully more freak show fights.
Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. See you next week.
See you guys next time. Have a good one, everybody.